So on the right side, we are logging in as a tenant who is Ron Weasley. He's going to browse vacant properties and apply for a property, which will be sent to the owner. He will get a notification for the application and he will select a lease start and end date for him, then approve this application.
This is the owner dashboard, and he can manage all the properties from there. And in dashboard, he can see all the details, property status and property occupation and vacancy. Now he can add properties from here. And after adding all the details, he can add the property. And now he can view the property.
Here you can also upload multiple images.
Now he's adding payment for the rent of that property and create a payment record for that tenant. And the tenant can view that payment and pay it through Bikash. That directly redirects to Bikash to payment. Now he can press payment clear and the owner can mark paid. Then he can show so Ron Weasley's payment is paid or the rent is paid. Now his status will show paid.
এখানে মাল্টিপল প্রপার্টিসের ইউটিলিটি গুলো ম্যানেজ করা যায়। তো এখানে বেস বিলের সাথে ইউটিলিটি গুলো পার ইউনিট কত করে পার্সেন্টেজ সেটা অ্যাড হবে। ইউটিলিটি এখানে টেনেটের এখানে বিকাশের মাধ্যমে সে পেমেন্ট করতে পারবে টোটাল প্রাইসটা। ইউটিলিটি বিল এগুলো সবগুলো অ্যাড করা যায়। আর পেমেন্ট গুলো ঠিক হয়ে যাচ্ছে। ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল সামারিতে সবগুলো হচ্ছে দেখাচ্ছে যে কে কোন কোনগুলোতে বিল পে করেছে কি করেনি।
In this part, the owner can directly contact with a tenant through messaging, and this message will show in tenant's message board as unread message. Now he can also reply to owner. This way, there is a bidirectional communication. This is the message board. Now the owner can add any notices for urgent issues like water supply will be turned off for any property. Select the specific property and it will go through to the tenant, exact tenant.
The owner can post rules and regulations for each property or all the properties together, and the tenants will be able to see those rules on his board. Then he can ask for fixed requests and add pictures and submit those. The owner can mark those as fixed and the tenant will see fixed by owner. He can also view photos. So now we have the lease renewal part where the tenant can ask for lease renewal to the owner. He can also propose a rent that is different from before and the owner can approve or reject. So we're approving here with the same rent but with a different date, and you can see that his days will be increased in his dashboard. Days remaining has been increased. Then we have the termination request. When the tenant asks for a termination, he can request it through this and the owner has the right to approve or reject. So we're showing rejected over here and the tenant will get a notification. And it will also show in his termination page that it has been rejected.
সার্ভেতে ওনার যে কোনো প্রপার্টি ওনাকে অ্যাসেস করতে পারবে যে কোনো ইস্যুস আছে নাকি প্রপার্টিতে, সেগুলো কিনে ওগুলো কোথায় অ্যান্সার দিলে সেগুলো ডাইরেক্ট আমাকে ওনার দেখতে পারবে, রেসপন্স করবে এবং কোনো দেখে কাজ করতে পারবে। ওনার এখানে রিকোয়ারমেন্ট গুলোকে এনেবল ডিসেবল করতে পারবে, মানে অ্যাজ ইফ সে রিকোয়ারমেন্ট গুলো নিবে কি নিবে না। তো এনেবল করলে টেনেট ওর রিকোয়ারমেন্ট গুলো দিয়ে দিতে পারবে, যেমন এনআইডি কার্ড, পাসপোর্ট এটসেট্রা, সেগুলো আপলোড করবে অ্যান্ড এখানে শো করবে যে আপলোড হয়ে গেছে। আপলোড এটা পিকচার দেখা যাচ্ছে।
In this part, owner can add legal notices for exact properties and send it to the tenant. And the tenant can view the legal notice and mark it acknowledged, and it will be shown in owner's dashboard. Here, owner can add security guards, and he can also remove it. And adding the information of security guards is a security measure. Here he removed the guards info.
Now we have logged out from that account and we are logging into another account, which is Draco Malfoy's. So he can view the rules and regulations that it was posted for all the properties. He can browse properties, but he's already in a property that is owned by Albus Dumbledore, so he can do the things.
Now he requests a parking spot for his guest and submit the request to the owner, and owner will review it and add a parking fee and approve it.
Now we can give warnings to the tenants. So when the tenant receives 3 warnings, he will have to pay a fee. So Draco Malfoy has received 1. We're going to show him 3 warnings. For each of the 3 warnings, a penalty of 100 taka will be added. So he's got this notification and in his payment check, the penalty has been added.
Now he has to owner has to add the parking fee for with next payment, and it will show in his payment tenant's payment part, and he can pay it through Bcash and click payment clear.
তো প্রপার্টি গুলো এখানে অনেকজনের প্রপার্টি গুলো দেখা যাচ্ছে পেমেন্ট হিসেবে। তো এখানে আমরা যে মেল ফাইলটা ঢুকলাম, তো তারপর এখানে আমরা লগ গুলো কাজে আপলোড করবো, আপলোড না আপডেট করবো। তো আপডেট করলাম, এরপরে সেটা কথা ছিল কথা হিসেবে ফ্ল্যাগ করবো। ফ্ল্যাগ করার পরে অ্যাকাউন্ট সাসপেন্ড হয়ে গেল। তো এখানে সে যখন সাইন আপ করলো, করার পরে আমরা এখানে ড্যাশবোর্ডে দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে কতজন অকুপাইডার কতটা মানে ভেকেন্ট আছে, আরেকটা স্পট ছিল স্পটটা যে কোনো একবার সেটা ছিল আপডেট হয়ে গিয়েছে। আমরা এটাকে এখন রিমুভ করলাম।
Now he can add a new monthly rent and update the property, so it will be available for the other tenants to tenants listing for property listing using the Harry's ID.
Now we've logged in as Harry Potter and he is another tenant. So we are going to send a termination request to the owner. And the owner will be approving this time, but before we need to complete the payment. And the owner will be marking this as paid. And it will show paid for Harry. We're deleting the Draco Malfoy's receipt order because we don't need that, as we have already removed him for being a squatter. Now the owner will be able to approve the termination request. So the apartment will be vacant and Harry will be able to browse for other properties. So he's going to apply for another property under Albus Dumbledore. And after receiving the application, he's going to approve it, but we're showing an early date to mention the late payment.
After approving this tenant application, and as the date is overdue, it will show the payment is overdue after creating the payment record. So it will auto calculate the late fee, and as you can see, 360 taka will be added to tenant's payment bill. Now tenant can also pay it through Bcash. Owner has also the ability to waive the late fee. Here we will waive the late fee as according to the tenant's emergency. Here, after waiving, he paid the fee, and the owner will mark paid, and the status is updated. Now we'll log in with that admin ID, and it will show all the details and all the owner and tenant information. We can also impersonate as any user. It is mainly developed for troubleshooting and other overriding issues. We can edit any information of any user and also give a new password. We can log in as that user and override some action. So we can also impersonate some users. And if we do some action or commit some action here, like cache issues, so it will be updated in other users board also, like after impersonation. So this part is mainly for overriding issues when some user is facing some problems and unable to do the things, and also the termination request can be override to the ID is not there.
So we can also delete any user. So we're deleting Draco Malfoy's ID. And after that, if Draco tries to log in with his initials or ID or password or anything, he will not find his ID. It will show invalid.